Good morning, everybody. Thank you for your support. I just want to touch bases with those of you that didn't get to come out to the meeting. And I do want to remind you that solidarity is our greatest strength, that writing grievances, writing witness statements, and for one another helps. We are having pushback, this pushback we expected from management. Um, a lot of bad faith, actions, negotiations, but we expected that. So we're going to have to respond um, accordingly. But that being said, the strongest weapon we got is solidarity. We have to stand together. Became aware of a situation where there was a member, not at this facility, it was at another facility, that was suing the post office, and they spent a lot of money to do it, a lot of money to do it, and there were people at that location that witnessed what happened, but they didn't come out to speak on his behalf when he went to court. When it finally went to court, um, management, a couple of his coworkers spoke on behalf of management. Nothing against him, but just on behalf of management. And neither of them spoke on his behalf. No, none of his coworkers spoke on his behalf, and he ended up losing that case. There was tens of thousands of dollars that lawyers was paid for that, a case he should have easily won, had his brothers and sisters that worked with him stood by him. That being said, solidarity is the strongest weapon we have in the building, with the contract, outside of the building, for your EEOs, for the lawsuits that a lot of you say you want to bring. It helps everybody when we all stand together. That being said, so what we touched on at this last meeting, without going into details, I want you to contact your craft, elected craft officials for detailed information. But just generally going over what we talked about. We discussed the grievances that was been filed for the clerk craft, on behalf of the clerk craft. We discussed the what's going on in maintenance, which is just, just absolutely shameful. And it seems we have one family running the maintenance over there. And ain't that something? Now, how did that happen? Well, your guess is as good as mine. And I'm pretty sure your answer is the same as mine, too. We'll address that. We'll get to that, though. Also, we didn't have a treasury report this time. There was some issues where the treasurer wasn't able to make it. But we have the detailed report, electronic report. We did put out a letter for everybody that wanted a copy of the detailed report. Excuse me. We passed around a letter for people to sign, everybody that wanted a detailed report. So we will be mailing out that either today or tomorrow. And going forward, 3 to 5 days before the meeting, we will be sending out the electronic copy of the detailed report. What else we touch on? Basically, those were the important things. We took questions and answered what we could, and we will be having a separate clerk craft meeting, because the issues in the building with the clerks are, to me, is at a state of emergency. I was told by Nina, somebody, that we have too many clerks in the building, but of course we all disagree with that. And this is why I'm telling you, solidarity counts and it helps. This management is used to getting what they want, pushing, being manipulative, and all that other stuff. But we're going to respond. We're not going to respond as past administrations responded. We're going to do things. We're going to take a more aggressive approach where necessary. We have a lot of OSHA violations around that place. We have a lot of safety issues over there. The president, Jonathan, the new president, discussed everybody having a safety committee on their local. We will be instituting that soon. And there's a committee that I want to introduce called the Rights and Retaliations Review Committee. So this is to help you know that we have your back when you write statements and file grievances. More information will be provided to you about that outside of it too, but it's to protect you from retaliation against management. You can file charges and you can file grievances, and I encourage you to file grievances on management when they threaten your job, when they are abusive, when they talk slick, when their tone is demeaning. I encourage you all to file grievances, write statements, file grievances, date, time, who was around, everything. We will pursue that. Those issues, because we're having too many problems with abusive management, abusive tones, and just abusive behavior from management, period. But we do intend to stand against that. We'll work with management where they're willing to work with us, but in cases where they're playing us, they're playing games, we're not finna play with them. I'm not finna give that no time. We ain't finna give it no air. So there's a lot we have planned. We had a social and recreation committee we need membership to sign up for, so we can start planning the picnics and the events that we want to have. We have a union awareness committee, and we have a constitution committee. Now we need to get people signed up for that, and you'll find those sign-up sheets on the board by the office. I don't want to go into specifics about what we discussed at the meetings because this is a public channel. That's why I say contact your craft heads for more detailed information about their reports that they submitted. Now, we will not be having anybody sitting in the office not doing anything. So the stewards will also have to give reports or tell us what they're doing at the meetings, so you know what's going on, so we all know what's going on. And that's just the way it is. All right? So for now, peace. I know this is longer than what I normally do, but I was trying to fit everything in right now. All right? Talk to you.